In a world with billions of people online, isn't it weird how easy it is to feel disconnected? Today, we're going to dive into why people are moving away from giant social media sites to build their own, smaller online communities. We'll break down the blueprint for how they're built and, more importantly, how they succeed.
Okay, so let's get into it. To really get why these communities are popping up everywhere, you first have to understand just how massive our digital world really is. Seriously, it's like a giant digital ocean out there.
And when I say massive, I mean it. According to the Digital 2025 report, there are over 5.5 billion people online right now. And that is the digital ocean we are all swimming in, a population of voices, ideas, and, well, noise that's just almost impossible to wrap your head around. So, why are we all spending so much time here? Well, finding information is technically at the top of the list. But look how close second place is. Staying in touch. It's right on its heels. And for younger generations, that's often the number one reason. It's just a fundamental need to connect with people. So that brings us to the big question, right? With billions of us scrolling through endless feeds, what is it that we're all really searching for? What's the deep human need that's driving all this activity? And the answer, when you boil it all down, is pretty simple, but it's also incredibly profound. We're looking for connection. That sense of belonging, of finding your people, of having real interactions. That's the treasure we're all hunting for in this huge digital ocean. But as you've probably figured out, finding that real connection isn't always easy. A lot of creators and businesses are having this big realization that the old giants, the Facebooks of the world, might not be the best place to build a real community. It's kind of like trying to build your dream house on rented land. And this really breaks down that whole rented land problem. I mean, think about it. If you build your community on Facebook, you're in a constant battle with distractions. If you try to use Slack, you pretty quickly realize it was never meant for learning or deep connection. And on top of all that, you're giving up control over your brand, your data, and even how you make money. And you can just feel the frustration in this quote from James Njoya of Lino Dash. He is speaking for thousands, probably millions of creators right here. It's that feeling of pouring all your heart and soul into a platform that just feels like it's actively working against you. It really comes down to a night and day difference. On that rented land, you've got almost no control and nonstop distractions. But on your own island, on a dedicated platform, you get the complete opposite. You get full control, built-in ways to make money, in an environment that's actually designed for focus and connection. So, how do you go about building this island? If the old platforms are these huge, noisy continents, then dedicated community platforms are your blueprint. They're the tools you use to carve out your own focused private space where your members can actually thrive. And a recent review from Lino Dash gives us a really great lay of the land. You've got platforms like Circle, which is awesome for creators and coaches. Then there's Mighty Networks for building your own little social network. Better Mode is for when you need tons of customization. And School is all about keeping things simple. Let's zoom in on a couple of these. Okay, let's take School. Its entire selling point is simplicity. If you want a no-fuss, all-in-one place for your courses, your discussions, and your calendars, this is pretty much it. That flat $99 price and the built-in game mechanics make it a really straightforward, get-it-done choice for a lot of creators. Now, on the complete other end of the spectrum, you have Better Mode. This is for the builder who wants total control over the look and feel of their community. With its template library, its block builder, its powerful integrations, you can build something that perfectly matches your brand. It's a fantastic fit for startups and SaaS businesses that need everything to be just right. So, you've picked your platform, you've built your island. Now what? Well, the next crucial step is actually bringing it to life. A community isn't just a place, right? It's an experience. And engagement, that is the absolute key. And one of the most powerful tools for engagement is something called gamification. It sounds complicated, but at its core, it's just about borrowing the things that make games so addictive. That feeling of progress, achievement, a little competition, and using them to get people to participate in your community. So what does that actually look like? Well, it usually boils down to three magic ingredients. You've got points, which give people instant feedback. You've got badges, which are like these little visual trophies for their achievements. And then you have leaderboards to spark a bit of friendly competition. It's a simple recipe, but man, is it effective.
Okay, another massive engine for engagement is user-generated content, or UGC. This, more than anything else, is what turns a community from a top-down lecture into a real, vibrant, member-driven conversation. It's the stuff that makes the community feel alive. And the power behind UGC comes down to one simple human truth: trust. A huge Nielsen study found that this many consumers, a staggering 92%, trust recommendations from people they know over any kind of advertising. UGC is basically that pure trust, but scaled up for your whole community. And you've definitely seen this in action. Coca-Cola's Share a Coke campaign was an absolute masterclass. Instead of just making ads, they invited their customers to be the stars. By putting people's names on bottles, they kicked off this massive wave of user-generated photos that they then put on everything from social media to giant billboards. Genius. All right, you've got the tools, you've got the engagement techniques, but how do you actually know if any of it's working? The final piece of this puzzle is measurement. You need a compass to help guide your community's growth. And here's the thing that is so essential to remember. We're not just measuring noise. We're not just counting posts or likes. We're measuring impact. Is the community actually doing what it was set up to do? Are your members getting value? Are you achieving your goals? That's what really matters. And this framework from ECR Research gives you a super clear path to do just that. It walks you logically from the big picture all the way down to the tiny details. You start with your main goal, then you figure out what abstract things, like a sense of belonging, you're looking for. From there, you pick concrete indicators you can actually measure. And only then do you figure out how and where to get the data. So let's just quickly recap the journey we've been on. At our very core, we are all wired for connection. The traditional platforms are kind of failing us, but these dedicated platforms give us back the control we need. Engagement gets sparked by fun things like gamification and user content. And finally, using smart measurement is the compass that guides the whole thing to success. So we'll end with this question for you to think about. The tools are out there, the techniques are proven, and that human need for connection is stronger than ever. So the only thing left to decide is, in this world of endless digital noise, what kind of community will you build?
Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to cut through that constant digital noise. If you've ever felt, overwhelmed by just the sheer amount of information online, kind of searching for some clarity, well, you're definitely in the right place today.
Absolutely.
Today, we're going to dive deep into the state of digital for 2025. We'll unpack everything from the big global trends down to the details of community engagement.
Right. I've got this big Digital 2025 Global Overview Report, plus some other really interesting insights on gamification and communities. Our mission: to sift through it all and give you the vital stuff.
Think of it as a shortcut. We want to give you those aha moments, maybe some surprising facts, without you having to wade through everything yourself, help you connect the dots.
Exactly. So you walk away with a real, actionable understanding of what's actually happening online.
Okay, so let's start with some foundational numbers. Get a picture. Earth's population, around 8.20 billion. Nearly 4.8 billion of us living in cities now. But this one always gets me. Global social media user identities. 5.24 billion. That's up 4.1% in just a year.
Wow.
Almost 64% of everyone on the planet. It just shows how connected we are.
It's an incredible number, isn't it? And what's maybe even more striking is how much time we spend online. It works out to about 40% of our waking lives.
40%. That's nearly half the time we're awake. How do you even wrap your head around that?
It's a massive shift, yeah. And it really changes where attention goes. Now, okay, the average time calculation changed a bit. They added people over 65 who tend to be online less.
Oh.
But importantly, people under 45, they're actually spending more time online than last year. And here's something really interesting. We now spend more than twice as long using the internet each day compared to watching traditional TV.
Twice as long. Okay, so TV isn't the main screen anymore.
Not in terms of sheer time spent, no. For anyone creating content or trying to communicate, it's not just about getting screen time. It's about the quality and the purpose of that time.
That's a great point. Yeah. So with all this time online, what are people actually doing? What drives that engagement?
It's pretty varied, which tells you a lot. For younger folks, entertainment's huge: videos, music. Older generations, more focused on news, current events.
Makes sense.
But across the board, There's this strong practical element. People are researching how to do things, or they're finding new ideas or inspiration. That's a really common reason.
So for content creators, what's the shift? Is it just about being found in search or something deeper?
It's definitely deeper than just SEO, yeah. It's
Yeah.
shifting from like pushing content out to creating content that people actively pull because they need it.
Right, anticipating the need.
Exactly. You need to provide genuine targeted value. If you're just filling spare time, okay, fine. But you're missing the chance to be the go-to resource for someone actually trying to learn or find inspiration. Utility and inspiration, that captures real attention.
That really clicks. And
Right.
thinking about how we access this, well, the data screams mobile devices.
Mhm.
Over 63% of all web page requests now. That's nearly double what it was 10 years ago. Our phones are just central, aren't they?
Totally central. Mobile is absolutely paramount. But it's important not to swing too far and think it's only mobile. Yeah. While laptop and desktop use is down for requests, computers still handle almost half of all e-commerce purchases. And significantly, they still account for a big chunk of total online time, not just clicks.
Okay, so the strategy is mobile first, but definitely not mobile exclusive.
You got it. Needs to work everywhere, but optimize for that phone screen first.
And access is getting faster too.
Yeah.
Mobile data speeds jumped over 25% last year. Average cellular download is now, 61.52 Mbps globally?
It's a big jump. Makes streaming smoother, websites load faster. Good news for users. Fixed connections, like your home broadband, are still generally faster overall, over 95 Mbps median.
Right.
But what's interesting is mobile is actually faster than fixed in 32 countries now. But this speed, it fuels this explosion in data use, especially video. Video is like 3/4 of all mobile data traffic now, which leads to, well, an uncomfortable question.
The cost, not just financial, I'm guessing.
Exactly. The environmental cost. Get this. Just our mobile video habits. They use over 14.4 billion kilowatt hours of energy. Every single.
14.4 billion kilowatt hours. That sounds like a lot.
It is a lot. To put it in perspective, that's almost 5 times the electricity the entire city of London uses in a month.
5 Londons, just for
Ah.
mobile video.
Yeah.
Wow, okay. That definitely highlights a massive sustainability challenge hidden behind our screens.
Yeah, it really does.
All right, shifting from the sheer volume to the intelligence behind it,
Mm.
let's talk AI. ChatGPT's rise has been, well, meteoric,
Understatement, yeah.
averaging over 250 million monthly active users late last year, 8th globally for downloads, and its app saw the 3rd biggest jump in consumer spending. People are paying.
And the website, chatgpt.com, it's pulling in somewhere between 310 and 560 million unique visitors a month. It's the clear leader in, standalone AI tools, setting the pace.
But it's not the only player, even if it's way out front. There's competition heating up. Google's Gemini is, 5 to 8 times smaller in users?
Something like that, yeah. Still a major player, though, alongside Microsoft's Copilot, Perplexity.ai, Claude.ai. And then you see these surges, like DeepSeek had this 100x spike in search interest.
And those AI chat apps like Chai and Polybuzz, carving out niches.
Right. But what's often missed is how much AI is kind of invisible, working behind the scenes.
How so?
Well, think about Gemini inside Google Workspace. That's potentially reaching 3 billion users, right? Or Microsoft Copilot already reporting a $13 billion annual revenue run rate.
Wow, okay.
And Meta AI, they claim over 700 million monthly actives. Now, okay, it's a bit fuzzy how many are really seeking AI versus just using search features.
Sure.
But the point is, AI is getting baked into everything. Tools you already use, like Canva for design, Grammarly for writing, it's becoming almost inescapable, even if you don't actively go looking for a chatbot.
It really does feel like it's everywhere, but good to keep perspective. You mentioned Yahoo. Still gets nearly 100 million more unique monthly visitors than ChatGPT.
Yeah, it's a great reality check. Reminds us that while AI is booming, some of the old guard still have massive reach and ingrained user habits.
Okay, let's pivot now to social media and TV. Some surprising stuff here. We hear so much about streaming taking over, but linear TV still holding strong.
It really is, isn't it? The numbers show linear TV accounts for almost 57% of total TV time. Streaming's at 43%.
57%. And get this, 97.5% of internet users watch some kind of TV each month. That's actually slightly more than use social media.
That just blows up the narrative, doesn't it? For anyone in marketing, you ignore TV, especially linear for older groups, at your peril. It's still a massive channel for discovery.
So mixed approach is still key.
Absolutely. You got to understand where your audience actually spends their time.
And within social media itself,
Mm-hmm.
the main reason people use it, still keeping in touch with friends and family, but barely half cite that now. Second is filling spare time, and then reading news stories. About 34.5% do that.
And you see that generational split again. Older users focus on connecting with people they know. Younger users are more about what's trending, finding content.
Yeah. And who do people follow?
Okay,
Less
right.
than half follow friends or family. Actors and comedians are number 2.
It shows the different roles these platforms play. And speaking of follows, that whole influencer economy, it's pretty specific demographically.
How so?
It's mainly younger people and predominantly women. There's actually been a slight decline in overall following of influencers. And this stat really jumps out. Less than 1 in 25 men aged 65 plus follow influencer accounts.
1 in 25. Wow. Okay, so the hype doesn't quite match the universal appeal.
Not universally, no, but brands are definitely using social. Half of adult users now go to social platforms specifically to learn about brands.
And Instagram leads for that brand research.
Yep, with TikTok growing fast in that space too, it's becoming a discovery engine. And, despite hearing Facebook is dead constantly,
Yeah, for years now.
the data just doesn't back it up. 2.3 billion monthly app users, a potential ad reach of 2.25 billion. It's still enormous.
So reports of its death are greatly exaggerated.
Pretty much. Engagement might be slightly down in places, but advertisers still rely on it heavily. Meanwhile, TikTok's engagement is just phenomenal. Users spending nearly 35 hours a month on the app.
35 hours, that's way more than YouTube or Instagram, right?
It's significantly more, yeah. And those hashtag FYP TikToks, they pulled in an extra 24 trillion views in 2024. Just astronomical number.
Trillion. Okay.
Okay.
But didn't their reported ad reach drop?
It did, by about 100 million, but our analysis suggests that wasn't users leaving. It was more likely data corrections, cleaning up duplicate accounts, bots, that kind of thing. So a more accurate number now.
Gotcha. Good context. And even with TikTok's crazy engagement, YouTube still wins on overall time spent across social platforms.
That's right. More time spent on YouTube than on TikTok and Instagram combined, actually. The established players still command huge attention.
And the new platforms. Threads launched big, 320 million monthly users.
But struggling to become a daily habit, seems like. And Bluesky is still very much a wait and see.
So the takeaway for marketers trying to figure this all out.
A big one is, don't stress so much about every shiny new platform. The audiences overlap massively. You can reach almost everyone on TikTok via YouTube or Facebook or Instagram too. Focus on where your audience really is and where you can execute well.
That makes sense. Less chasing, more focusing. And then there's Reddit. Big jump in ad reach.
Huge jump, 129%. Reported reach now higher than X. It's also a top 10 website for traffic, and Google's even calling it an authority source now in search.
Interesting. So Reddit's having a moment.
Definitely gaining traction, but a small pinch of salt needed. Some of their reported reach figures, like saying they reach 106% of Canada's population.
6%. How does that work?
Exactly. It probably points to a change in how they're counting or reporting. Not that they literally reach more people than exist.
Huh.
Always look critically at the numbers.
Good advice. Okay, let's shift from these broad platforms to something more focused. Community engagement. This feels like a really growing area.
It absolutely is. Moving beyond just selling things, people are seeing the huge value in building actual communities.
Right. It lets you serve people effectively, create that recurring revenue, and the members help each other out even when you're not there.
And the key role for the builder isn't to be the star, but the facilitator. You create the space, the structure for connection, and then you step back a bit. Let the magic happen between members. What stands out to you about that kind of approach?
Honestly, it's the scalability. As someone who creates content, the pressure to be the source of everything is immense. This model, it leverages the group's collective intelligence and desire to connect. It feels much more sustainable.
Exactly. And strong communities usually offer value across 3 core pillars. First, learning. That could be workshops, Q&As, courses, a knowledge base.
Right. Second, connection. And this is often the bit people miss. It's not just networking. It's about real relationships. Things like dedicated connection events or using tools like AirMeets for quick virtual one-on-ones.
Yes. And the third pillar is accountability. Structured support, maybe coaching, helping members actually achieve what they joined for. And you can supercharge all of this with gamification.
Ah, gamification. using game mechanics in non-game settings.
Precisely. Points, badges, leaderboards, maybe a narrative, progress bars.
Yep.
It taps into basic human drives. Competition, achievement, status, mastery.
And we see it everywhere, don't we? Like Pokemon Go getting people walking, MyFitnessPal for tracking health goals.
Or in Work DevHub saw task completion jump from 10% to 80% using game mechanics. Stack Overflow uses reputation and privileges. Even Khan Academy in education uses badges and points.
So how do you actually build one of these communities strategically?
First step, choose your topic and nail your value proposition. What's the clear promise? It needs to be something you're passionate about, have experience in, and crucially, there's a market need for. Can you explain it simply? That's the podcast test.
Love that. Step 2.
Validate demand. This is critical. Use whitelists, applications, maybe a small pilot group. Prove people actually want this before you invest heavily in building the platform and content.
Don't build it hoping they will come. Okay. Then culture.
Culture is key. Define the vibe, the values, the expected behaviors. This attracts the right people and, just as importantly, deters the wrong ones. Think Cobra Kai versus Miyagi-Do, same activity, totally different cultures and outcomes.
Great analogy. And then planning events.
Start simple. AMAs, workshops, member spotlights are great. Don't feel you have to do everything yourself. Leverage member expertise often. People prefer hearing from peers anyway.
Okay, pricing. Always.
You need to look at market rates, sure, but mostly focus on the ROI for the member. What result are they getting? We talk about the value seesaw. Both you, the creator, and the member need to feel they're getting good value. If it's unbalanced, you get resentment and churn.
Makes sense.
And speaking of value, here's a big one. Never, ever offer lifetime memberships.
Really? Why not? Seems like a good deal.
It feels like it, but it creates this imbalance over time. It's like a difficult marriage where one side feels locked in forever. It rarely ends well and becomes unsustainable. You need that ongoing value exchange.
That's a powerful way to put it.
Yeah.
So understanding churn is vital. Aiming for, what, under 10%?
Yeah, 10% or less is good, 5% is amazing. And often, shifting from monthly billing to quarterly or annual can really help improve retention. People commit more.
And there are tools for pricing, like the Van Westendorp model.
Yep. It's a more scientific way to gauge how sensitive your audience is to different price points. Helps find that sweet spot.
So you've got the structure, the pricing.
Yeah.
How do you grow it? Marketing.
It boils down to an equation, really. Value plus market size plus positioning plus marketing effort equals growth. Where people often fall down is neglecting the marketing bit, where they skipped that crucial validation step earlier.
Yeah.
Our sources talk about Chris's 3 abilities. Does the market feel the problem deeply? Do they have the ability to pay for a solution? And do you have the ability to actually deliver that solution? If those align, you're in a good place.
And for marketing tactics.
Distribution is key. Things like guest appearances, kind of like this, getting your message out there, and member referrals are incredibly powerful for community growth. Happy members bring in more happy members.
Perfect. And once they join, onboarding.
Huge. You need a first 24 hours wow experience. Maybe solve a small problem they mentioned in their application right away, or make a key introduction. Make them feel seen and valued immediately.
And that private to public technique sounds clever.
Yeah, it works really well. Connect with someone privately, help them refine a question or idea, then gently encourage them to post it publicly. It makes the community feel active and helps others without it seeming forced.
Very smart. Okay, let's touch on some maybe unseen influences. Measuring engagement, privacy.
Right. First, the difference between tracking and measuring. Tracking is just watching what's happening, who did what, when.
Okay.
Measuring is about the outcome, what happened as a result. Did it move the needle on our goals? Measurement needs to be focused, educational for the team, and useful for reporting.
Gotcha. And using member data.
It's crucial for insights, not just raw numbers. Understanding needs better. And interestingly, the idea of a social score within digital tools, often seen positively by users, can actually boost engagement inside organizations.
That is surprising. And speaking of surprising, privacy concerns seem to be declining.
Yeah, according to the report, fewer than 3 in 10 internet users are worried about online privacy. Barely 1 in 3 consistently reject website cookies.
That feels counterintuitive with all the headlines.
It does, though concern does tend to go up with age. Maybe it's a sign of digital fatigue or perhaps growing comfort or resignation. Hard to say for sure.
And to wrap up on data,
Yeah.
you found something on cats versus dogs online. Seriously.
Yeah. The report actually looked into it. It's a fun way to see how different data tells different stories.
Okay, I have to know. Who wins the internet? Cats or dogs?
Well, it depends how you measure. Google search results. More pages about cats. Wikipedia views in 2024. Cats win again.
Uh-huh. Cats rule.
Hold on. Google Trends, actual search interest. Dogs are significantly higher globally. And social media, Instagram and TikTok posts tagged #dogoutnumber #cat. X users seem 5 times more interested in dogs.
So it's a draw.
Kinda.
Yeah.
If you tally it all up, the report suggests cats might be winning the overall web presence in 2024, but maybe just by a whisker.
Okay, a great reminder that data needs context, even for furry friends.
Exactly. Look at the whole picture.
So as we wrap this deep dive, we've really covered a lot, from those huge global digital numbers and AI weaving into everything.
To the subtleties of building communities, the surprising truths about TV and social media.
Understanding these undercurrents definitely gives you an edge, doesn't it? Helps you navigate this digital world more effectively.
Without a doubt. And maybe here's a final thought to leave you with. We know mobile video alone has the environmental footprint of 5 Londons every month. We know AI is becoming part of almost every interaction we have online.
Yeah.
So the question for you is, how will you use what you've learned today? How will you harness the power of digital connection while also pushing for more sustainable, more ethical growth? What's the one insight you'll carry forward to make a difference, even a small one, in your own connected life?